Welcome back, everybody, to the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, founder of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Excited because this topic, this podcast came from all of you. So we got 10 questions in on how to write your first book. And basically, people are asking all these different questions. I thought they were amazing questions. And instead of answering them all individually, that maybe not as many people would see it, I wanted to dedicate a show to you. So whether you're a nurse, a doctor, an integrative health practitioner, a personal trainer, this show's for you. Let's dive right in. So these questions actually came from the IHP community. If you're unfamiliar with the IHP community, you can, of course, just head on over to ihp.coach, but full of nurses and estheticians, massage therapists, personal trainers, and half the people from everyday life with no health-based experience, but they want to learn how to heal themselves, heal maybe a family member, and then go on and become a health coach. Amazing no matter how you do it. But why that's important is because it's going to be part of the answers on today's show. So let's dive right into it and let's go. 10 questions in no particular order. The first one is this: how does AI voice tools compare to self-recording for audio production in terms of time, cost, and listener engagement? All right, great question. So a couple things here is I have published full books before through publications. One of them was Men's Health and Rodale, where I was a co-author. One of them was at Human Kinetics. I forget, a couple others as well, where I was co-publisher, never my own, right? Actually, Human Kinetics, I was my own author of that, but that was published through an institution. Okay, so first of all, I don't write books to make money. I write books to reach a larger audience and help more people. That's the whole reason I write a book. So I feel like I've mastered a particular topic. I want to be able to set that in stone. It's not going to change, right? More things might be added to it, but really, it's not going to change. And I want to get that out to the world. That's why I write a book, right? So that's that. When I did that for Human Kinetics, which is like the largest textbook publisher for fitness and personal training and all that, I did that around 2010. I had been then personal training for 4 years part-time and 10 years full-time. I had put in my time, and we helped so many people. Like by then, probably 100,000 people, literally 100,000 people by then. And so like, I felt like I could write that. Okay, great. But here's why am I really saying that? Because I signed a really bad contract. They absolutely took advantage of me. And I have made no money from that book, even though it did so well. It's actually published in Mandarin as well. So we'll just keep it at that. After that, I learned my lesson. Not only did they make it a book that I didn't want it to be because they made it just for men. I get why they did it because we're going to talk about that in terms of niches. But anyway, not saying they're not a great company. They're a great company. I was young, in my 20s. I thought it was an amazing opportunity, which it was. I learned the whole deal. And honestly, had I not done that, it's like kind of like getting sick. Had I not done that worse experience, I wouldn't have then self-published on my own. Now, I only self-publish, and I can teach you how to do that. That's a long way of getting to, I only publish on Amazon, and I use Amazon's KDP. Used to be called Create Space. So I write the book myself. I can't go through how to write it today, so maybe I'll do that as another show. But literally, I just take a Pages document, like a Word document, and my books are 5.5 by 8.5 books. And I do about, you can set the margins based on the length of the book. And I just write. That's it. But before I do that, I outline. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. You asked about audiobooks, because I know this is now a stream of consciousness. Amazon does not allow you to publish AI audiobooks yet. Here's my reason why I believe they're not allowing that. I think that they're going to create their own. I literally think they're going to take every book and turn it into an audiobook. And I think that they're going to make you use their software. I don't think they'll charge you for it, and then they'll just sell your audiobook. That's why I think they're doing it. Because why? Why not? So what I did is I don't sell my audiobook. I give my audiobook away for free with purchase on Amazon. Why do I do that? One, I cannot take the time, nor do I have the patience or want to read from my own book. And I've said this before, I read quickly, I block read. That is how I read. It's so tedious for me just to read like word to word to word. Like it's not going to happen. So having said that, and I just know how long it would take to read the Rain Barrel. In fact, the Rain Barrel is about 100,000 words. Actually, it's more than that. So It would take forever for me to read that. Literally, it would take, I forget even how many hours, but it's 40 plus hours. And so it's not going to happen. And so what I did was I hired someone to capture my voice through AI. And then they ran it all. I had to speak like a long paragraph. They then put it in and they created the whole thing. And it was fantastic. Then they had to go through and listen to what words were pronounced very strangely. Even my last name, Cabral, like the AI could not say Cabral, right? So I use AI for that, and I thought it was fantastic. I'm very happy with it. Most people can't really recognize that it's not my voice. So if you purchase Personomics or the Rain Barrel Effect, you get a free copy, because I know a lot of people love listening to audiobooks rather than reading. My books are really meant to be read, honestly. They have self-assessments. They've got all sorts of things in there. So I want people to have the physical copy, and then I just give them the audiobook for free. So that's what I do. And again, why don't I do this? I'm going to ask my team what they used for the AI tool, which I think was like Descript or something like that, and I'll have them send that to you, or I'll have them put in the show notes. So just go to ihp.coach/424, and we'll put that in there for what we used. Again, there are many out there, but we use that. Okay. Second, what is the differences in print costs and distribution reach between Amazon and Ingram's Spark today, especially for color heavy books like cookbooks? Okay. So I have looked at this before and the research. It's literally night and day. Amazon beats Ingram's Spark in every single category except two. The first one is full color. Ingram Spark does an amazing job for cookbooks with that. And I can't say enough, like they do a great job with that. The second, they do a hardcover with a jacket, like a dust jacket, that piece of paper, that glossy piece of paper usually you take off for a hardcover book. They do that. Amazon will create a hardcover for you, but it's like a textbook hardcover. It's glossy, or you can do matte. It's nice, but it doesn't have that like professional dust jacket. I went with Amazon, one, for the distribution. If you can still publish on Amazon with Ingram Spark, but they're not going to give you the same preferential distribution that if you self-publish through Amazon. That's just the truth. I went through so many different blogs and so many different, research on that, and that's the case. Now, cookbooks and those types of things, yeah, could be better off using Ingram Spark. I used the KDP, and again, I'll link that up to get started. It's literally free. Like, you don't pay anything at all. You pay you get a royalty. So you still own your manuscript. But so for example, I'll just give you like exactly what it costs. So it is, my book, Personomics, is about like $14.95. That's the paperback. And the hardcover is about $24.95. Okay. I make about $5, $4.48 on every soft cover. So it's about 30%. And I make about $9 and something cents on every $25 book, right? So $2.50, well, what would that be? Yeah, they're both about 30% or so, almost 40%, I guess, for the hardcover. And so you can price it however you want, but Amazon will not allow you to sell less than a certain price. Like for my Rain Barrel Effect book, I can't sell it less than $15 and something cents because of how thick the book is, right? How big it is. And for hardcover, you can't really sell below like $21 or $22 for the length of book that I wrote, okay? So it depends partially on the length of the book that you wrote. So that's part of it as well. I might make $3.50 on the Rain Barrel Effect. Again, I donate all of the money to charity, all the profits to charity. And then when we do a free giveaway book, I have to pay for the book, and then I have to pay for the shipping to me. So it ends up being like $8 or so. So like that's how we came up with the $7.95 to $8.95. That's basically what it costs for me to get, not ship, but the book to me at my warehouse to get it to you. And then it's like another $8 to ship it out. So basically, when I always say like StephenCabral.com/free book, that's the Rain Barrel Effect. It's essentially $8 or so. About $8 to print that book and get it to me. And then for me to ship it to you, it's about another $8. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. Number 3, real world examples using AI, ChatGPT outlines, Claude guidance without losing your voice authenticity. Yeah, I think those are 2 great tools. Those are I like ChatGPT probably the most. Claude's a great one to build off of if you're building a health-based AI. What I will say is this: great for research tools, thinking through problems, helping to outline things. I certainly wouldn't use them for writing. I think that I know when someone writes ChatGPT style, for sure. And so I think you want to maintain your authenticity. I really do. Having said that, a great place to outline, and I'm going to talk about that in just a bit, without a doubt. Okay, number 4, impact of bonuses like audiobook and PDF guides on lead magnet conversion rates for IHP style content. Okay, so I didn't do this for the rain barrel effect. It was literally just go on podcast, reach out to my social media, email my email list, and my book's out, right? So that's what I did. For Personomics, you go to personomics.io/book, and you will see the whole kind of giveaway process that many authors do to get on the New York Times bestseller. Now, remember, I have no chance of getting on the New York Times bestseller, even though I sold so many copies and it was a #1 international bestseller. Again, I don't say that to brag or like that, but I don't play the game. Like, I literally do not play the game where you have to go through a publisher, you have to set a publication date, you do a pre-sale, you get people to promote. I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy. I'm not going to play the game. I don't need to be the New York Times bestseller. I don't need any of those things. What I want is to reach as many people as possible, help as many people as possible. That's why I do what I do. Because if I went with a publisher again, like Human Kinetics, it's not about the money. I do like being able to donate to charity, but what I wanted to be able to do in the future is also give the book away when it's been out for a certain period of time, really reach as many people as possible. Okay, so bonuses. If you go to personomics.io/book, if you purchase a copy, any copy, you automatically get the audiobook. It really is like a $14.95 to $19.95 value. It honestly is. That's how much you would pay for an audiobook. Okay. So after that, I also give away the workbook. And I give away the journal. Like, you could charge again an easily $19.95 for those things. So mine's like 50 pages, my workbook, and my journal is easily like 25 pages. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Then you can do a webinar, so you can do all sorts of things. So I think it's great to do during your launch for the first like 30 days to get it out there to as many people as keep promoting it. I think it's a phenomenal way to do it. And it just gives so much more value. So people literally pay, let's see if I have my book here. Yes. People literally pay $14.95 for this book on Amazon, and it's published all over the world. That's the nice thing about Amazon. My book's published everywhere. Like, it's published in a dozen different countries. And so they purchased this book for $14.95. It's my best stuff from the last 25 years in practice. And then I give them all sorts of free bonuses just for purchasing a certain number of copies or for leaving a review, however you want to do it. All right. Number 5, breakdown of Alex Hormozi's launch tactics that sold 3 million copies in 24 hours and their applicability to niche health books. Okay, well, I'm just going to give you a short breakdown of that. So if you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, basically he set the Guinness Book of World Records for 3 million copies or so sold. And I know the figure, he made about $30 million from that launch, which is completely insane. Like, that's his money, that money. I don't know if he paid a lot in advertising or whatever, but still. But what did he do? Well, he amassed a very large list and a very large list of affiliates. So for his affiliates, they all had their own list. Why did they promote for him? They promoted for him because he gave things away you could not buy, which is like an hour call with him or coming to meet him at his headquarters, right? So like, people wanted to learn from him. He has a lot of value. He's a good businessman. And so they wanted to meet with him. Totally get it. And so he has a very large list. He built up a very large YouTube following. And he did really well. His podcast didn't even do that well before his first book, 100 million. I don't know what his first book was, 100 like sales or models or something like that, right? But anyway, and so what he did was he got everybody in one place, and then he gave away all those bonuses. Again, mine was like a very small take on that. And so that's how he got to 3 million copies. Again, he did a live webinar during the whole sales-based process and essentially broke the entire internet for sure. So yeah, he's a great person to study. All right, 5 more questions. Do we have time? We'll try to bang through these. Do we really need to hire a book coach or editor for our first short book, about 100 pages, or can we power through tools like the Daily Brain Support, Canva, and ChatGPT? Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to hire a book coach or an editor. There's so many good articles out there, YouTube videos. I'm happy to do a follow-up on this. I'm happy to do a webinar for our IHPs. So I'm going to get to this at the very end. I'm going to give you my tip at the very end for how long your book should be, but you can do all of your brainstorming and thinking with ChatGPT. Again, I don't recommend writing the book that way, but definitely your brainstorming there can be fantastic, 100% without a doubt. Okay, number 2, is self-publishing on Amazon the way to go, or is there a better way to do it? No, Amazon self-publishing is the way to go. In my opinion, it's the only way to go. It really is, except for the cookbook, or if you really want that dust jacket, then you can go out and you can create it right there. And that's totally fine. But you might even do that separately. Like literally, you might just pay to have a couple like of your special copies created. But if you want the largest distribution network in the entire world, not just for the United States, but everywhere. Again, we sell books in the UK, in Canada, Australia, like everywhere, right? And so Netherlands, I don't know why, we sell a lot of books in the Netherlands. And so you want to be able to use Amazon. And again, I'll link up all these fun notes at at ihp.coach/424. All right. The next one, this is number 8, I guess. Should we do market research first to ensure the topic matches the audience needs, or just write books we wish we had when we started? Well, so there's 2 thought processes to that. There's always going to be hundreds and thousands of people who are where you are, like you, and the tighter the niche, the better. So if it's a legitimate problem, I absolutely recommend solving it, and you can write a book on that, like 100%. And the reason why I say that is that the tighter the niche, the better. And I'm going to be talking about that at the very end. So, but let's say you have like 5 topics in mind, literally 5. So many people don't, I can't give it away right now, but Personomics is just the start to what I'm going to kick off for different niches. And what I would say is this: you can use then AI to work through, these are the 5 things that I'm really passionate about, because you should be passionate about it. Don't write a book if you're not passionate about it. So these are the 5 things I'm thinking about writing about. Which one has the largest audience? And which one has the most action takers out of that audience? Because sometimes they're not the same. They're honestly not, right? So it's like, I always remember talking with, personal trainers or chiropractors or whoever. It's like, you can advertise for people who want to like stay healthy, but really the people who take action are the ones who hurt their back, and that's when they go to a chiropractor, or they want to lose 30 pounds for their wedding or whatever. Those are the people who take action, right? So like, you want to really market to the people who also take action, not just who wish that they did these things. Okay, that's a big one. All right, number 9, once the book is done, what's the best way to get it out there, especially to attract new clients? Grow email lists, open doors for new speaking gigs and podcasts. Well, a book can absolutely do that for you. So no doubt about it. But here's what I would say is that you need to play to your strengths. So if you are someone that is great at speaking, great at talking and expressing your ideas, you absolutely want to be on podcasts. A lot of people only think podcasts. Here's a big tip I want to give you. Reach out to other YouTube channels. YouTube is the largest search engine in the world besides Google. Now, Google owns obviously search, but Google also owns YouTube. And video is the largest search. It honestly is, besides going to YouTube. Besides going to Google, the first page of that. And again, that's being eroded by different AIs, or LLMs. So what I would say is this: play to your strengths. If you're a great writer, write blogs, write Substacks, write for other individuals. But no matter what, you need to publish on your own social media: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Don't pick a million channels, just pick 1, maybe 2 maximum. If you publish to Instagram, it can easily publish to Facebook and vice versa. So that's pretty easy. It's actually easier to publish from Instagram to Facebook, but that's neither here nor there. So that's absolutely what I would do. And you always want to get people on your email list. And so why don't we talk about that next? All right. So the last question is this: if you've written a book, what do you wish you knew before starting? For example, starting sooner, hire an editor who speaks human, preparing for self-marketing, or focus on hard-driven topics. Okay. So this was a great question. This is going to sum everything up. So when I wrote The Rain Barrel Effect, this is basically what I said. I was completely maxed out in my practice. I had a wait list for more than 6 months, and I was literally stressed out of my mind. And I was working 40 hours with patients, wellness clients every single week. And I was definitely spending another 40 hours managing, even though I had a general manager, I had 2 locations. It was like, a lot of work. Now, why did I do that? Because I put everything on the line, right? Like it cost so much money to build out my second wellness center. I hired a lot of people. It was a lot. So I had to make it work. I literally had no choice. And so I made it work. That's the truth. But after that, I said, you know what? I had multiple offers to franchise the wellness center. And I said, this is not me. Just like publishing through a publisher, that's not me. It's not who I am. I like to teach. That's essentially all that I ever wanted to do. And to this day, like I just want to teach. That's it. I mean, I would be very happy teaching every day. So doing my 4 hours, right? I love to write. I love to read. I love to research. Then I love to write. I love to record. Those are my 4 hours. And so when I get to do that, I'm in my happy place. If I'm in meetings and all these things, I know they're necessary and I have to do them. That's not my zone. That's not my happy place, right? So here's what I did. I said, I'm going to do something not to get more clients, but to give away the information that I've learned that I will very much enjoy and I hope will help others. I already have a 6-month waiting list. I don't need more patients/clients, right? It's not what I need. What I want is to feel like I'm doing something of value for this world outside of Boston that I can be proud of, like that I can just give to people. That's what I wanted. Like people always say like, oh, but I need your help today. I could just give them my book. That was my goal. I want to give you my book. I have no more time. I can't give you my time. I'm sorry. I can't do text messages. I can't do calls. I can't do anything. Literally, I mean, you have to keep in mind, when you're working 80 hours a week, it's 7 12-hour days, basically. The weekends were a little bit less, but I was at my work for 12 to 14 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And then a little bit on Saturday. Well, a lot of it on Saturday and Sunday. I took off most of the day except for a couple hours that I had to still work. So again, I was trying to say, here's my book. Like, please, I'm going to give you this. It's free. I want to give you it. That's it. So that's why I had a very good reason as to why I wanted to write it. Now, for other people, they want to use it to grow their practice. That works as well. It absolutely works. But here's what I wish I knew. 1, write a shorter book. People's attention spans, my first book came out in 2017, 2018. People's attention spans have just gone down and down and down since then. All of my new books, like Personomics, I said you can't write, and it was way more than this. I said it has to be under 300 pages, and I just snuck in. I snuck in at 290 pages or so. All my future books, not all, but like the new things that I'm coming in niche-wise, I've already started my next one. Hard to do less than 120, but 100 pages. That's really what you want. You want them to be basically a guide. You want them to be a manual. You want that to be 100 pages that people will consume, see you as the expert, and they're like, oh, this person's my teacher. Like, that's my guide. That's who I need to go to. Awesome. That's what you want. So first is shorter. Second is deep niche. The person who asked earlier about, should it just be what I overcame? Yes, it absolutely should be. Yes. The deeper the niche, the better. Will you sell 1 million copies? Probably not. But it will grow your practice and make you more world renowned, and you'll have more clients to work with, right? And at least in the beginning for your first book, that's what it should be about, honestly. So deep niches, like not even just low thyroid, it's like women with Hashimoto's, or like it can be like just get as deep as you can into that niche. That's what you want. All right. And the last is this. I would have wanted to have a larger audience. So what does that mean? It just means for most people, and when my book came out, I wasn't really on Instagram that much. I had just started getting back on. I had started for like a little bit, I think in 2016. And then I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't have time. Again, like I didn't have time, right? And so what I would do is I would actually spend 6 months to a year, even while you're writing the book. I mean, I don't know about you, but books for me take at least 6 months to a year to write. I think about the idea. I have huge they're 18 by 24 Post-it notes on the wall, so huge stickies, and I'm writing on them. I'm outlining them. I can do another show on this if there's an interest. I'm not sure that there'll be an interest in this, but I outline everything. I'll go back and forth. I sit with it for a while. I journal about it. I think about it. So these books take me not 6 to 12 months. They take a good 12 months for me to write. So over that time, you should be building up your social media. And then when you launch, you have people to launch it to. Because you just put it on Amazon, it's not going to reach the audience that you want. But building up your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, social media, publishing the book, getting it on Amazon, driving traffic there, then Amazon will show it to other people as well. So that's what I would do. And so hopefully this was helpful. This was a lot of fun. I love doing Q&As. I mean, it's what I do obviously with every IHP workshop. So if it was helpful, please let us know in the Facebook groups, comment on the posts, just let us know. We're happy to do additional shows like this. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. And again, for all of the different links that we used on today's show, head on over to ihp.coach/424.